approximately 16:04 p.m. Today, a soldier assigned to 13th Sustainment Command Expeditionary fired shots at individuals within the unit areas here, within the 1st Medical Brigade area, the 49th Transportation Battalion area. Most immediately went into lockdown. We have now lifted the lockdown as of about 30 or 45 minutes ago. Within 15 minutes, first responders, the military police, and the emergency services responded to the scene, engaged the shooter. The shooter is dead. A self-inflicted gunshot wound. In regard to the investigation, at this time, there is no indication that this incident is related to terrorism. Although we are not ruling anything out, the investigation continues. Investigation by various law enforcement officers at federal level from ATF and FBI, at the state level the Texas Rangers, Texas State Police, along with local law enforcement of KPD, Parker Heights, along with Army CID and Army Military Police. We have confirmed that there are 3 victims who were killed, and then the shooter was killed. And there are 16 injured, being treated at Scott and White and here in Darnell. Our thoughts and prayers go out to each of those injured and their families, and the killed and their families. Our focus now is to focus on the families of the injured, focus on the families of the killed, ensure that they have the best care and counseling available. And I do ask Fort Hood community or anyone in the local community, if they have any information relating to this incident, please contact either the FBI or the Fort Hood Department of Emergency Services. Events in the past have taught us many things here at Fort Hood. We know the community is strong, we know the community is resilient, we know the soldiers and the civilians and the families of this fort who have served so bravely in combat for the last 13 years in both Iraq and Afghanistan are strong. We will get through this. Thanks to all who have supported us. Thanks to the local community who has supported us over the last several hours and many years. And thanks also specifically to Scott and White for their excellent medical care and their ability to handle additional casualties. So with that, we'll take your questions. We do not know a motive. We do know that this soldier had behavioral health and mental health issues and was being treated for that.
What's his name?
At this point, his name again has not been notified, so I'm not going to confirm his name. We do have his name, but the next of kin have not been notified, so I'll wait until that's been done.
Has he served overseas, sir?
He has served in combat. He served 4 months in Iraq in 2011. He was currently under diagnosis for PTSD, but he had not yet been diagnosed for PTSD.
You describe what happened. You walk us through it.
It's under investigation. The exact sequence of events and timeline of events are not 100% clear. It is believed that he walked into one of the unit buildings, opened fire, got into a vehicle, fired from a vehicle, got out of the vehicle, walked into another building, and opened fire again, and then was engaged by local law enforcement here at Fort Hood. Sorry? He was using a 45 caliber Smith & Wesson semi-automatic pistol that was purchased recently in the local area. I am not aware of an argument at the WTU. There are some initial reports there may have been an argument in one of the unit areas. Don't have any indication of an argument at WTU. He has not been assigned here to the WTU. That we don't know. We're checking his background. He recently arrived at Fort Hood in February from another installation, and we're checking with the other installation to determine the background of the soldier. And obviously obviously, we are digging deep into his background, any criminal history, psychiatric history, his experiences in combat, all of the things that you would expect us to be doing are being done right now.
Where all the injured were
Welcome back. Hang on for a second. Go ahead.
where all of the injured soldiers were because of the gunfire or something else?
They were a result of the gunfire, either direct wounds from the gunfire. In some cases, there was some glass that shattered. Some have some superficial wounds from that. Others, one was jumping a fence, got injured there, but it was a result of.
Sir, was this soldier in the process of being transitioned out of the military?
He was not in the process of being transitioned out of the military, to my knowledge at this time.
General, can you say where his body was found? Was it in his car, next to his car, in the street, next to a building?
His body was found in the parking lot where he was engaged by military police.
You say engaged. Can you describe how they engaged this?
Military police officer responded, and he was approaching her at about 20 feet. He put his hands up, then reached under his jacket, pulled out the 9mm, and she pulled out her weapon, and then she engaged, and then he put the weapon to his head, and he died himself with the gunshot.
General, did,
Go ahead. I'm not ruling out terrorism. All I'm saying is there's no indication of it at this time. We have FBI and all the appropriate federal agencies and all of the various organizations searching all the internet, Twitter, Facebook, and all the normal association you would do, and the investigation on that part is ongoing. We do not have any indications of that right now, but I'm not ruling that out. Say again? We are not ruling in or out anything. I'm not sure I understood what he said, but no, I don't have Fort Hood as a specific target, any other installation.
Can you tell us if he had any family on board?
The soldier is married, does have family, and yeah, we're in the process of documentation. They're in the local area, that's correct.
Were any of the victims before?
I do not know that.
Total weapons, do you know?
To our knowledge, he had one weapon, 45 caliber Smith & Wesson.
What normally takes place in this?
If I said 9mm, I misspoke. It's a 45 caliber Smith & Wesson.
What normally goes on in this
Don't
building?
know how much ammunition.
What normally goes on in that building? What's it?
It's a headquarters building where they conduct the day-to-day administration of the medical brigade, and then in the other building they conduct the day-to-day administration of the transportation battalion.
How
Is
far
this a
apart
building
are
you would
they?
visit often?
They're not far away from each other.
How would you
Is
describe?
this a building you would have gone to regularly or routinely?
49th Transportation Battalion, yes, we would have gone to that on occasion for administration purposes. That's higher.
For his treatment?
No, not for his treatment. That's his unit headquarters.
Sir, did you tell us his rank and did I miss it?
I did not say his rank nor his name, and I'll do that when his family is appropriately notified.
General, what type of treatment was he undergoing?
He was undergoing behavioral health and psychiatric treatment for depression and anxiety and a variety of other psychological and psychiatric.
Some of the new programs that have been installed since.
He was not assigned for designated.
General, the female officer who engaged him, how would you describe what she did, sir?
Was clearly heroic, what she did at that moment in time, and she did her job, and she did exactly what we would expect of the United States Army military police.
Did you say he was under a diagnosis?
He was not diagnosed as of today with PTSD. He was undergoing a diagnosis process to determine if he had PTSD. So that is a lengthy process to confirm that he did.
He diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury.
There are reports, I don't know if he was diagnosed in the clinical sense. There are reports that he self-reported a traumatic brain injury previously coming back from Iraq.
On any sort of medications,
He was on medication, that's correct.
like SSRIs or antidepressants and things of that nature?
Yes.
Sir, you said he came from another installation. Can you tell
He was
us?
not a wounded warrior. He was not wounded in action to our record. No Purple Heart, not wounded in action in that regard.
Sir, you said he came from another installation in February. Can you tell us who that is?
At this time, I prefer not. I got folks calling that installation, talking to their chain of command, in order to determine all the background information.
What states?
Sorry? State.
Where the other
It's here in Texas. Okay, a couple more questions. Yes, ma'am.
Do we know if any of the wounded were military or even civilians?
All of the wounded and killed were military.
Sir, what can you tell us about protocol as far as carrying the type of weapon that the soldier has and other soldiers that are allowed on base? What can you tell us about security?
If you have a weapon, you're on base, it's supposed to be registered on base. This weapon was not registered on base.
General, what was your reaction the first thing that went through your mind when you heard there had been another shooting at Fort Worth?
Immediate reaction was casualties. What kind of casualties? And do we have one or more shooters? And are those shooters secure to provide the protection to the local community?
The FBI already on the scene. The alerts that you gave out about one day target project application.
We have a local FBI liaison officer, but no, large FBI assets were not here. They are actually inbound to help with the investigation, but no, there's local FBI available.
General, after 09, a lot of programs were placed in to help soldiers that were dealing with issues coming back from service. In light of what's happened today, are you concerned that those programs have gaps in them?
We'll have to re-examine all of those programs to see if there were any gaps. So I'm not ready to answer that just yet.
General, we know that over the years now we've had, I believe this is the third one that we've had first on, not the outdoor, not the first one. Are you concerned beyond the fact that this is not the first time? Are you concerned that this place is becoming a target for whatever reason? What your reaction has been to this at the end of not again?
My reaction was not again here. My reaction was to immediately make sure we had a read on the casualties, immediately secure the site, and immediately look for one or more shooters and to secure the installation. I wasn't thinking about not again or any of that.
What do you think now?
Right now, my concern is with the families of those that are injured and those that were killed.
And the story of a registered weapon.
Discussion about soldiers being allowed to carry a concealed weapon for self-defense. What are your thoughts on soldiers carrying concealed weapons on base?
You're not allowed to carry concealed weapons.
Do you think that should change?
No, I don't think soldiers should have concealed weapons on board. We have law enforcement agents with trained professionals, and I don't endorse carrying
How long do you
concealed
take for
weapons.
the law enforcement to reach the scene?
It was within minutes. Exact time, probably 10 to 15, maybe.
You're
Max.
saying that we can have concealed weapons, but it still takes 10 to 15 minutes for law enforcement to reach the scene.
I think the law enforcement acted very rapidly and swiftly, given the nature of this.
I understand that there's still.
I'm not going to get into debate with you on carrying weapons on the military installation.
Sir, you mentioned that you purchased time duration.
Say again?
Can you tell us anything about the gender of the killed wounded, men or women?
No, I don't have the specifics, and I'd rather not go into that. The shooter was a male, and the officer that engaged the shooter was a female.
Sir, you mentioned the time
The other
duration
injured,
of
no,
the
I
attack.
don't.
What was
Say
the
again?
time duration of the attack from beginning to end?
Probably about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but we don't have an exact timeline. Yeah, let me go to someone else.
Sir, you
Anyone else?
mentioned
Go ahead.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about how you changed the BSU security procedures to make the procedures away from response shooting before we respond to the scene?
I think the response from the law enforcement and the medical folks displayed clear lessons learned from the previous case. I think that it was obvious that the response was swift, it was appropriate, both from a law enforcement perspective and from a medical perspective. Last question.
Sir, you mentioned that the suspect had bought the weapon. How much indication
part of the investigation. Don't know any idea about the premeditation.
General, I do want to follow up with a question.
Last question, go ahead.
Considering that he did have a weapon that was not registered, he carried it on base, considering changing the protocol or practices of how you can check the vehicle as it's approaching base, considering this is traffic.
I will be reviewing all of those procedures. That's correct. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Also appreciate your support. We will hold the regular press conference daily until we get all the information out into the public that we have. It's appropriate. I don't have a time for that, but the first one obviously will be tomorrow. And Colonel Chris Garver, our public affairs officer, will put that out. And I just ask for all your thoughts and prayers for the fallen and for the